super uncomfortable vlogging. I'm also super uncomfortable taking selfies of myself, much for the same reason that I don't like vlogging, which is I don't like being in front of the camera. But I'm sacrificing my ego for you guys because I wanted to talk briefly about villains, as I'm considering the villain in my next book. So not the book I'm working on right now. I'm working on City of Kings right now. And City of Kings does have a villain, or as I like to say, an antagonist. And I classify bad guys in those two different categories of villain and antagonist. And City of Kings, Under Winter Lights, Under Midnight Lights all had antagonists. Whereas Chevalier, brief though it was, did have a villain. Although I think the Nightingale Queen could maybe have been an antagonist. I created her to look a little more like your typical fantasy villain, or maybe not typical, but I created her to be the kind of villain you would want in a fantasy, but she's actually still an antagonist. And like I said, the reason I wanted to talk about it is I'm plotting out who the villain should be, or the antagonist for my next book. And so here's the two ways that I break this down. And I like to use two examples. I like to use the example of Javert from Les Miserables for my example of my antagonist. And I like to use the White Witch from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe as my example for a villain. And hang on, something just popped up on my computer. Okay. Javert in Les Miserables really believes that his way is the right way. He believes that Jean Valjean is wrong for his crimes, and he needs to be punished. And he doesn't see that Jean Valjean could repent from the wrong that he's done. He doesn't see that Jean Valjean could transform into a wonderful, caring person. He only sees Valjean was a criminal, and Valjean needs to be punished. And antagonists, in that sense, are kind of the heroes of their own story. And I know I'm paraphrasing that from another author. They're heroes of their own story. They see their fight and they see their good, but their fight and their good are distorted and not right. But they can't see that. So they're fallen characters. They're fallen people who don't believe in any kind of redemption. And my character, Alan Jung, was very much an antagonist. He only saw his way of the world and nobody else's. On the other hand, villains, and this is my opinion, villains are bad through and through. They don't have a right or wrong kind of fight. They're evil, like the witch in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. She doesn't have compassion. She doesn't believe there's a right in the world. She's only selfish and only fights for her own good, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain sometimes. She's evil. She's bad. She's not human. She doesn't have a sense of right and wrong. Whereas antagonists do have a sense of right and wrong, but the problem is usually it's deformed, it's upside down, it's misshapen. And I don't know, it was just on my mind. I really do want to get more comfortable in front of the camera, because a lot of times I would like to vlog about writing, about the writing process, and how I tackle it. So this was fun, and yeah. Okay, bye!